Ever heard of a labour action called work to rule? It is the ultimate paradox. If frontline workers suddenly decide to follow every single safety rule, every procedure, and every bit of corporate red tape to the absolute letter, well, the whole bloody operation grinds to a complete standstill.
It is true, you know. Think about it. The system only actually works because people on the ground are constantly making microscopic adjustments. We call them shortcuts, but really, they are the unwritten rules that keep the wheels turning. They are the systemic lubrication. And this brings us straight to Geller's Law, from Scott Geller's book, Psychology of Safety. He wrote that risk-taking is rarely punished with an injury. Instead, it is consistently rewarded with convenience, comfort, or time saved. Let that sink in. The system itself actively reinforces the rule bending. It silently demands high production speeds while maintaining perfect corporate deniability when things go pear-shaped. Oh, we have a procedure for that. Yeah, mate. But is it a sterile procedure written by someone in an air-conditioned office who has never actually set foot on the wet clay of a real site? We need to talk about situational violations. This is not routine laziness. This is what happens when there is a massive gap between what the official policy requires and what resources you actually have. Imagine a crew on a night shift, under the pump to meet their operational targets. They are forced to make a choice. Option A: follow a tedious, impractical rule and fail their targets, which gets them a real kick from management. Or option B: bend the rule, get the job done on time, and get a pat on the back. Under local rationality, bending the rule is the only logical choice for them in that moment. Now, let me tell you a story that perfectly illustrates how this rule bending gets baked into a system. It is the legend of the armor-plated train, a real classic level crossing incident. So the company changes from a two-driver setup to a driver-only operation. They give the drivers a remote-control device, which was only ever meant to be used while walking slowly alongside the locomotive to guide it through spur lines. But before long, the drivers realize walking is slow and bloody exhausting. So what do? They start using the remote control to drive the train while standing right on the front footwell of the locomotive. Completely outside the design intent, right? Now, management definitely did not approve of this risk, but they faced massive structural and union pressure if they tried to stop it. So, instead of fixing the system or tackling the union head-on, what did they do? They decided to armor plate the front of the train. Unbelievable, but true. They literally welded steel plates to the front to protect the driver standing in the footwell. By doing that, they silently codified the violation. They made the shortcut the new official baseline. This is how an exceptional violation, something done in a pinch, decays into a routine violation. Because nothing goes wrong the first 50 times, or the first 100 times. The perception of risk just evaporates. The safety margin is completely erased, and the drift into danger becomes the new normal. So, what is the ultimate takeaway here? When you see workers taking shortcuts, do not treat it as a worker discipline issue. Do not go pointing fingers and writing up warnings. A shortcut is actually invaluable diagnostic data. It is a loud, ringing feedback loop from the front line telling you that your system is broken. True safety leaders do not just scold the player. They look at the design of the game. They treat those shortcuts as essential clues to trigger engineering redesigns, fix management of change gaps, and design work that can actually be done safely in the real world. Think about that next time you see a rule being bent. All right, good chatting. Talk soon.